turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Hello people of the internet. It's a wet, horrible Sunday in June. It's supposed to be summer. But it's grey, it's raining, it's horrible. So, you find me in the S3. Thanks for joining. And the missus is watching tennis, which is not something I'm big into, it's her thing. That's great. Yeah, she loves to watch it, I leave her to it. So I've come out for a little drive in the S3. Now, a video I've been wanting to make for a while is not necessarily about the S3, it's about me. Excuse me a minute. So I grew up in a quiet little village many years ago, and because we had so much land around us, what tended to happen was we all got hold of old scooters, old mopeds, anything we could get for cheap. And back then you could get vehicles for 30-40 quid. So you save your pocket money up, and as a teenager in the summer holidays I used to work on the land, and we used to pick potatoes and help out, and at Christmas used to do stuff with turkeys you don't want to know about, blank from the memory, but anything to earn a bit of money. And with that money we used to buy things. Now back then, two of the biggest things I was into was roller skating, and I've still done that until recently, and also another thing, just checking the mic there, also another thing was vehicles. So as I said, we used to buy old scooters, strip them down, race them around the pits, which was the gravel pits, which I worked at later in life. But also something I was always interested in was anything mechanical. So at the age of 13, I bought a Bedford van. Random, I know, what 13-year-old wants a Bedford van, but I had ideas of customising it and everything else, of which I couldn't afford. Came from very humble backgrounds, very little money, so it never happened. Anyway, long story short, that van taught me that I was quite good at one thing, and that was getting things to work. The van, I don't think would ever pass an MOT, but it ran. Well, I say it ran, it didn't run when I got it, but I got it running. So basically stripped the engine down, it had bent valves, replaced those, in fact replaced the whole head with another engine I got from the scrapyard that a friend helped me source. It cost about 20 quid. This is how long ago, it's going back a long time ago. Obviously being that age, it was a long time ago. Anyway, I digress. So basically messed about with that van for a few months and learned a lot about stuff. Of course, ironically, well, it was going to happen, let's be honest. The police got involved. And although the van was parked on my driveway, it was in a little close or a cul-de-sac, and of course being a young age, it would find itself now and again going up and down the close, which got spotted, got reported. Anyway, got rid of that van, and that was it for that. But I did a lot to that van, I've got to be honest, and that was going back a very long time ago. Anyway, moving forward, so one of my first jobs, in fact my first job, was as a trainee panel beater and sprayer, and I got taught an awful lot of stuff from a guy called Mel. Of course, being the apprentice, I got all the crappy jobs, i.e. spraying 40-foot trailer chassis and lorry chassis and things like that, but also got involved in a lot of the body repair. And what we used to specialise in was really badly damaged cars. Now back then, don't judge me on this, you could do a lot more with cars, and I'm sure you've heard of the term cut and shut. Well, that was pretty standard back then. But it wasn't literally as you think of cutting the car in half and welding it up. We used to do it properly, well I think properly. Basically used to strip it down to as much of the chassis as we could, and then graft the two chassis together and jig it all up and line it all up. So it was done properly. I think it was done properly. But again, I learnt a lot from that. Anyway, moving forward, I did have my own garage for quite a while as well, and that is also a learning curve. when you're doing jobs for other people, they've got to be right. And yeah, we don't always get it right, and mistakes were made, but it's always a learning day, and every day, even at my age, is a learning day. Moving forward from there, I then worked for a long time, 8 years in fact, for a gravel extraction company, Tarmac, ironically in Maxi, so it wasn't far to travel, still lived there at the time. And it was one of the best jobs I've ever had. We started off driving loading shovels, moved on to driving all the machines really, drag lines, which basically is a crane with a bucket on the front of it, and you dig big holes in the ground. And for many years I drove a drag line, so again, another learning curve. You know, you learn to repair them, and up to the point where you actually learn to strip the engines down and rebuild them on site, because any lost hours is basically lost production, lost money. Now, just a little cut here. If you are bored by this so far, it's not going to get any better, I warn you. So the beauty of YouTube is you can skip and go to the next video. Feel free, please do. Okay, this is just my wafflings today, and that's what the channel's all about, being very random. And being a big YouTube viewer myself, I do skip around a lot. And I'll come onto YouTube a bit later because there's something else I want to say. So yeah, worked for Tarmac for many years, and then was lucky enough to get an interview at Perkins Engines, as it was then, which is where I still work 28 years later. The thing that got me through the induction, and I remember it so clearly, we sat down with a guy I became good friends with, or well, two people, a guy called Brian and a guy called Sandy, very famous in Perkins and in Peterborough. And these two guys, basically the induction was they put 4 pistons in front of you, with the rings separate, the pistons separate, the gudgeon pins, everything else, blah blah blah. And they say, right, you now got 20 minutes to build these. Well, I literally had them done in 5 minutes, put them on the table, finished. They went, no, you can't be finished, that's too quick. They looked at them and said, yeah, you're finished. But again, my background, you know, I had worked on Perkins engines but inside big machinery, so it was a great help. The second one was an oil pressure relief valve, and again, all laid out in front with instructions. Well, yeah, we don't need those. And literally in a couple of 3 minutes I put that together as well, and it was perfect. And then we got to operate some machinery. Now that was a bit different because you did get a list of things, and what they were looking for was your attention to detail. So it literally said, press this button, do that, press these, blah 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 blah, and that was part of their machining process. So that was the induction. And basically, not to cover 28 years of Perkins life, I worked on many assembly tracks, assembling 440 engines and 436 engines from start to finish, and then moved into another small engines division, say it again, and basically again built the engine from block to finish and test, an EFD, engine finish department, and out the door. So I had a lot of experience with engines. So I don't want to waffle on too much because I'm aware this will be a long video, almost as long as my life's been so far. Moving on, always been into motorbikes. You'll see those on the channel, and the channel kind of started years ago by me flying RC helicopters. Again, when I had my garage years ago, I used to watch people in the local field flying helicopters, fascinated by it. So got to a certain point in my life, and when you get a little bit older, you get a little bit of disposable money when your kids are all grown up, etc. And bought one, knowing nothing about them whatsoever. Again, another big learning curve. And I've got to say, getting older it's harder to learn, but learning by doing is the way I've always done it, and it's been very enjoyable. So I flew RC helicopters for a few years, but due to changes in lifestyle and government rules and things like that, it came to an end, which was fine. You know, might go back to it at some point, I don't know. Then the channel, the channel grew from that. I don't know why I started YouTube, I have no real idea, but it was about helicopters and things for the first probably 2 or 3 years of its life. Didn't really get any subscribers, nobody was that interested. There's hundreds of channels out there, totally understand. And and didn't really take it too seriously. And then, I don't know, for some strange reason, started putting car things on there. Got a little bit more interest. Now, just a disclaimer on that, and I want to go into this more because this bothers me a little bit, to be honest. You obviously, as your channel grows, it's a good feeling, and it's nice to see the subscriber count go up, and it's nice to see the comments. But the bigger you get, the more the comments seem to gravitate to, you're doing this wrong, you don't know what you're doing, you're an idiot, blah blah blah. And I'll be honest, I've never up to this point deleted any comments or changed any comments or hidden any comments. I've just let them go. But lately, and I'm not sure, I think it's when I got more than 1,000 subscribers, which is the point where YouTube monetize you. And believe me, you'd get no money from YouTube at all. I earn more than a week that I earn on YouTube in a year, so I don't think it's about money. If you're trying to do a YouTube channel, you need hundreds of thousands of subscribers to make any money. I'll never do that. I haven't got the charisma, I'm too old, I'm not a woman with a nice body, and all the other things that gain interest on YouTube. It's just a channel that sort of documents things I do in my life. So yeah, back to the comments. I'm growing more and more fed up with comments, to be honest. There was one particular video I did, and I've always done things my way, and that's how I'd expect anybody else watching my videos to do it, to look at the videos and go, oh, it doesn't look so bad, I'll have a go at it. But again, it's your vehicle, it's your life, it's your responsibility. I am not an expert, I never will be. The experts work in garages and charge hundreds of pounds an hour and go on courses all the time. I work in management. That's what I do for a living. I manage things, services, IT stuff. Boring, not boring stuff, but it's not a charismatic kind of job. It's just standard, fairly decently paid job that I do well. I think I do well, and I've got a good team of people around me, and we get the job done. So I've got no problems with the daytime work. That's what pays my living. The YouTube stuff is just a hobby, always has been, always will be, and it's a way of documenting my life and the things I've done in my life, and going back to and looking at to get, some help sometimes. And when the dementia really sets in, then I can look back and go, I could do that. But it's not to be taken seriously. I watch lots of videos, as I say, and some videos I like, some I don't like. I do comment on some, but I positively comment on things because I know how difficult it is putting the channel together, doing all the editing and doing everything that you have to do to keep on top of YouTube. You have to be putting out regular content, you have to make it look good, you have to make it attractive. The competition is fierce, and like I say, I will never be one of the big boys because I just haven't got that charisma or the personality for it. That's just me, Ade Reeves, bang, doing a channel of random stuff, as you know. But I do want to say thanks to everybody that does comment, even to a degree the negative ones. I know I'm not perfect, I never will be, I don't want to be. Perfect's boring. I want to be a bit of a loose cannon now and again, been accused of that a few times as well. But yeah, this is just a waffle basically of me going on about that, giving you some history of what I've done through my life, and hopefully you'll be following the next chapters of my life. So again, if this video has been really boring, I'm not going to apologise, I'm just going to say, what do you do on a Sunday afternoon that's wet? I'm not just doing it for the content, I'm not doing it to have a go at people. I'm just saying, when you're watching YouTube, just consider what's going on in the background. Everybody can go, that's a load of old rubbish. And I'll be honest, I've done that. But I don't want to put that down in somebody's channel to go, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing, that's a load of rubbish, why do you bother? Because, again, I know what hard work is. 1 second. Needed that. So there you go, this is just me, Ade Reeves, having a bit of a chat with you guys, the loyal followers. whatever. I mean, if you follow me, great, thanks a lot. If you like stuff I do, thanks a lot. If you don't like it, you know, keep to yourself. If I'm honest, you know, if you want to point out things, you know, in a nice constructive way, I'm fine with that. Like I say, I'm no expert, never will be, never want to be. My years of basically working every day on machinery in a garage, doing whatever it is that mechanics do nowadays or paint sprayers do nowadays, you know, they're gone. I've got friends who are mechanics, I've got friends who are paint sprayers, I've got friends I trust and friends I would go to for advice and friends I talk to for advice. And unlike everybody else, I watch YouTube videos to get ideas, especially if I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. But the only way to make your car serviceable, let's say, I don't really know how to put that, so bear with me, words don't always come easy, is to either have a go at it yourself or take it to a garage. If you're really not sure what you're doing and it scares you, take it to a garage. If you can't afford to take it to a garage, then I totally understand. If you want to have a go, have a go. You will save yourself a lot of money, but just bear in mind you can make things worse. And I think that's the message from the video. You know, do not take my channel seriously. I'm having a go at things and some things fail. The washing machine one comes to mind. I spent hours on that, thought I was doing a good job, and it turned into a complete disaster. In hindsight, I should have coughed at the 300 or 400 quid and bought a new one. I'll be honest, it's not that I couldn't afford it. It's just, I like to fix things where I can, because I don't like throwaway societies, and that's what we've all become. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Oh, excuse me, windy pops. I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to have a little drive. I'll leave this on. I'm going to disconnect the mic, and hopefully the video's been okay with the sound. Disconnect the mic, and just have a little bit of a cruise around. If you want to kick off now, that's fine. If you want to watch me driving, fine. Up to you. Everybody's different. But whatever you do, have fun doing it. If you can't have a bit of fun in life, what's the point, really? What is the point? Right, bye for now, YouTube. Oh, excuse the hands, by the way. That's the MR2, the recent video that went up. Yeah, that's going to be a part 2. Anyway, shut up, Reeves. Let's go. Sunday traffic.